Hey, beautiful people. It's M Diamond here, coming to you from the glorious Mount Cootha. It is a gorgeous day. This is the amazing creek bed at Mount Cootha. So I've just hiked up to the top with an amazing friend, another incredible business leader in Australia. She's a global business leader, and we were having discussions this morning, of course, about what we love, and that's leading in business, how we're empowering large communities of people to mobilize their organizations. I've got a little bird visitor friend. Mobilize their organizations, scale their team, scale their impact, and fulfill on their individual purpose. So obviously we have a different focus with our work. She's way more around people's marketing and their packaging and how they create new marketplaces, whereas my focus is transformational leadership, making sure we've got aligned leadership, aligned teams, aligned strategy, structure, and psychology. And the stories that we were sharing this morning brought me back to this one fundamental thing, and I did like a whole live series on it, I think about a year and a half ago, and it was, the reason it's sometimes so big to talk about is it's so challenging to talk about is because it's such a big topic, and that's why I did a whole series on it a little while ago, because I was like, which aspect do I talk about? But I wanted to come in this thing of when we're struggling to go to the next level in the business that we already have, or we are struggling with what we already have as the load. Okay, so that's where we're having frequency of breakdowns, we're having resistance from people, we're having issues with perhaps proof of concept or systemization or automation, or we're dealing with that thing of carrying everybody and everything and people not stepping up as leaders around us, where we're having to be the driver, drive everything, and people are standing around waiting for something to magically happen, like your team, your staff, your clients waiting for stuff to happen. Then this is the number one thing that we can always go to ourselves to shift it quick and to get some either new insight that allows for some intelligent behavioral correction or a different tactic or strategy, or to modify our leadership stuff. It's a beautiful beam of light coming in. It's gorgeous. Okay, so that is acceptance. And it shows up in lots of really sneaky, kind of tricky ways. Okay, so one way that acceptance doesn't show up inside a business is where we're in the situation that we're in, and we instantly have the reaction of, I'm not okay with this shouldn't be this way, what's wrong with me, what's wrong with them, why isn't it working? And those are all like self-talk, right? But I'm really talking about the particular focus point, energy, and reaction that we as the leader have to it. And it's that energy of resistance. It's that physiological response where inside our reaction is no, 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 no. And I'm not talking like a positive no, like, no, that's my boundary, wonderful. I'm talking like, no, 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 this shouldn't be this way. It's wrong. I don't like it. I disagree. Why is it this way? What's wrong? Blah, 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 blah. So that interpretation, that psychology of resistance and rejection means that we don't get to powerfully deal with reality. We don't get to powerfully deal with what we've got circumstantially, structurally, strategically, interpersonally. We don't get to deal with it in the present. While we're going, no, 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 we are conditioning our psychology to then try and find action to take, because our psychology is always conditioned like that. So we have an experience and our body's like, right, great, what can I do about that? But when we are resisting what is currently happening, it means that our brain gets sent off on an activity to go and find action we can take to resolve what's happening in the present. But there are no actions to take around what's happened in the present. If that was true, you would be taking action in the past. And that is psychologically, physically impossible. And this is where we then perpetuate senses of powerlessness, overwhelm, irritation, frustration, giving up, patterns of like continual toxic disappointment with people, which is a leadership pattern that is just so common, this toxic persistent disappointment with people. Okay, so it's pretty clear. We can't take action in the past. But the way our brain works is that if you're getting feedback around what's happening in the present, and feedback is I'm having thoughts and feelings, and those thoughts and feelings about how what's in the present right now is not okay, and then you don't redirect yourself to what am I going to do about it? How do I correct that for the future? What action am I going to take about that now? You just get left with your present resistance, which triggers your brain seeking action you can take to correct that, which is action in the past. So straight away, you can snap yourself out of that, like snap yourself out of it, come on, and redirect yourself to, okay, so I'm accepting of that it's happened. So like if you were being in the jungle, I was doing this metaphor with a client this week. If you were in the jungle and you got dropped into the jungle in a survival situation and you were accepting of that, you would be the most resourceful. You'd be like, right, I'm here. Okay, there's the water source. There's the tree. That's where there's shade. Here's where my resources are. Here's what I can do. But if you spent the whole time being like, I didn't want to be dropped in this jungle. They said something mean to me while they were dropping me off. I don't want the water to be there. I want the water to be over there. And I don't want the water to have mud in it. I want the water to be clean and pure. And this isn't working. And why did this have to keep happening? So that type of constant, it shouldn't be this way. It's not right. It's not working. Whatever level of leadership we're at, if we fundamentally resist the environment, the circumstances, and what we're attempting to adapt to, we don't put our brain in a position to then take all the productive and resourceful action. It's a type of madness, right? So I know the jungle example, the survival example is a little bit extreme, but it's what we're dealing with every day. And you'll see this with people in your life. You'll see any area that they're ineffective, they're either not coping with what level they've got right now, or they're not able to get to the next level. It's because there's some aspect of them that's saying that where this is at and how this is, it shouldn't be this way. There's a form of complaint, a form of resistance, a form of disagreement, a form of this is invalid, they've invalidating it, there's rejecting it. So in the rejecting it, we think we're being intelligent of being like, I don't accept this. And so your brain's not going to stop doing that. Your brain is not going to stop going, I want it to be better and it should be better. And if you've got high enough self-esteem, which if you don't, then definitely come and do some work with me. We're looking at the boundaries should naturally appear to themselves, the standards, the wanting to do better, the wanting to raise the bar. That's innate. That's like just evolution. You can't stop those mechanisms. The only time that's not happening is if you've got a damaged relationship to yourself. And that's what often a lot of people, leaders, come to me with, is they come to me when they're like, there's something that's not in me that's not allowing me to punch to that next level. And it's to do with their relationship to themselves as a leader or as a person, right? So that's absolutely come and work with me if that's going on for you. And this thing around acceptance and resistance, we genuinely think that if I accept something the way it is, right, this is a piece of jungle that I'm in right now. People think that if they accept that, right, so my marriage is this right now, right, so my profit margin is this right now, right, so my employees' performance standards are this right now, right, so our level of system breakdown is this right now in the business. If people think that they accept what is, that they are accepting it as in it is okay, or I'm allowing it, or I'm agreeing with it, or I'm saying it's fine or it's all right. And that is not actually what acceptance is, guys. This is one of the big distortions our society has. That's not acceptance. That's agreement or enabling or encouraging or accommodating or supporting. And acceptance is none of those things. And look, I need reminding of this all the time, right? This isn't like something I'm perfect at, but this is one of the core fundamentals of my work, which is if you want to create new results, you want to create a new future, you want to operate differently, consciously, unconsciously, you want to influence others to operate differently, unconsciously, you want that new level of intelligent growth, intelligent scale in our company, in our leadership, we have to accept the current lay of the land. Because if we resist the current lay of the land, our strategies that we develop, our communication techniques that we utilize, oh my gosh, look at this, I have a stick insect crawling on me. I don't know if you can see that. How beautiful! Oh my gosh, it's a baby stick insect. Oh my gosh, the Harry Potter fans, you know what this reminds me of. Oh my gosh, look at him. Can you see him? Hello, little beauty. Oh wow, how cool is that? Nicer than a spider. In Australia, it's usually spiders that we're dealing with. You're looking for your next spot, mate. I'm going to put him down. So this reminds me of Fantastic Beasts. Oh, nope, he jumped. And he's on a log now there, happily carrying on. Amazing. Yeah, in Australia, normally it's spiders that are crawling on us. That is beautiful. He must have jumped down from that tree. Okay, so yeah, it's fundamental. Any area where we want to create a breakthrough, we can't deal with it. It's like working on your company budget. Unless you know the absolute truth of where every single dollar is going, where every single thing is, whatever decisions you make are flawed, okay? If we can't tell the truth about the way we're operating, the way we're leading, if we can't see that clearly and see that plainly, the decisions we're making are then flawed. They're all off flawed assumptions. And then we go, well, the strategy didn't work. This is one of the hugest things I see in business is people only doing short experiments or distorted experiments and going, we're going to try this, but they try it off false assumptions of things they're resisting. So instead of telling the truth about the marketplace, instead of telling the truth about perhaps product quality or customer experience, or instead of telling the truth about what the team are willing to do, what skills they have, a big thing that I work with organizations is often doing like a skill and resource map. So we measure all the behavioral profiles of all the people in the organization. So we look at what attitudinally and behaviorally we have as a strength set and a weakness set in the company and preferences of the style of the company. That often tells a huge story about the way companies are operating. And then we do the work of looking at the actual what's required operationally for the company and what skill sets do these people have, and we map them across and we find those deficiencies. That's telling the truth, and then it means we can make really high probability of choices about what we're doing, and this is why clients experience such massive leaps so quickly that surprise them. So I hope that helps you guys a little bit around, not just leadership psychology, but also structural changes, decisions you're making operationally, how you decide what you're doing with your team. Like, one really important thing to me is that when team members are recruited, we ensure that the behavioral style that they have matches the role they're coming into and the culture that they're coming into. I love behavioral profiling. This is my 12th year of being a behavioral profiler. I specialize in the DISC work of leaders profile, which is all the leadership aspects where we look at all your specific leadership behaviors and preferences as well as your behavior style. Things I could continue to share with you. All right, I'm going to jump off. I'm going to go have breakfast with my beautiful family. I'll finish this amazing hike up the hill at Mount Cootha in Brisbane. I got a little visit from that lovely little stick insect, and my brain is desperately working on trying to remember the name of that stick insect in Fantastic Beasts and where to find them. So I'm going to have to go look that up. I love you all. Have a great day. Bye. Oh, and my link for booking in to have a chat with me, it's at the bottom of the video. So if you want to have a chat about your organization, your leadership, book in a call, baby. Bye.